And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Monday, April 25th. I am Josh Engleman, and I am here to break down a three-game NBA slate. We still have three today. We still have three tomorrow. What we have after that, I'm not entirely sure. Before we get started, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. Good morning, everybody. Weird background here we got. It's the new blue. We're working on it. Still haven't painted the bottoms, as you can see. Still have the carve outs ready to go and waiting. I got to change out faceplates and stuff. So that's going to be a today and tomorrow task. We've had some people in town for the past couple days, dog sitting for the past couple days. So getting it all up on the wall was the first priority. But no rise and grind banner for right now. It's just laying to my left. So we'll get that back up on the wall as soon as we can. Good to have everybody here. Decent crew. Better than decent. I shouldn't have said decent. It's a good crew. We got a good crew here right now for 6:38 a.m. 34 viewers, 20 likes. I like it. Still dog sitting. Yeah, until this afternoon. And Larry, it didn't. It didn't. Well, it didn't not. But last night, around 3:30, 4 o'clock, she got up and tossed the cookies again on the bedroom floor. So that's what I was a little bit slow to the draw today. I slept a little bit later because I wanted to, and because it's a 3-game slate of games we've already talked about, and it's just not going to take that long to get through it all. And I didn't really feel like getting out of bed. I'm not going to lie. This playoffs has been fun. A couple of results that I didn't want to happen have happened, but nothing you could really do there. We got 3 more games going on today. We got Boston, Brooklyn, coin flip. We got Toronto, Philly. Toronto, pretty big dogs in this one. And then Utah and Dallas, which is going to be quite the banger tonight. I don't know how I'm going to stay up to see that game. I want to watch at least a little bit, but man, after last night, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I'm going to try to go back to sleep a little bit after I record contenders videos. We'll see how well that works out. Live before lock tonight with myself and Laffy, so make sure you're tuning in there. Let's get it started. Let's do this first. Right there, banner on the screen. Prize Picks, presenting sponsor of this show. Either go to awesemo.com/prizepicks-promo or click the link in the description of this video. You can get 1 month free of Awesemo Plus Platinum. You'll get a deposit bonus from Prize Picks. You can't really beat that. Got plenty of tools at awesemo.com that will help you out. The biggest one would be the Prize Picks player prop tool. That's going to dictate every decision you're trying to make at Prize Picks, or at least it should. So make sure you're checking it out. We'll say rise and grind, but it's over there. So we'll get that one out of the way. I do have my coffee. So I hope you guys have yours. I used a milk frother for the first time today, so we'll see how that goes. But if you got a coffee, that's great. Coffee, tea, water, beer, whatever you got going on. If you got any food, nuggets, Pop-Tarts, toasters, strudels, that's the words I'm looking for. Guys, it's early. We're a couple days away from this going away, so I should get it in now. If you got a joint, hit that too. It's probably not helping me from last night. So cheers to you guys. Rise and grind. Let's get it started. Let's get me off of this big screen right now. Boop, done. Little Josh is in the house. And let's start it off with the Boston Celtics. Actually, before we do anything, whoops. Okay. I have all the wrong tabs. There we go. Now we're good. Now we're dancing. All right, Boston Celtics. 1 point underdogs in Brooklyn, trying to close out the Nets. And we've got no Ben Simmons, evidently. Was supposed to be here. Now, not so much. So we're going to get normal Brooklyn, or at least normal over the past couple days, Brooklyn. Yeah, Mark. I mean, that's just child's play. The disrespect for not tagging me to start. Shame. Alrighty, Boston. This one's pretty easy. Not a lot that we need to change here. We do have Robert Williams back. I don't have a great feel for what he's going to play. It just feels like it's not a lot. It doesn't seem necessary right now. They basically added Robert Williams to the rotation and then thinned everybody else out. So we're going to take Horford back down to 30. Daniel Tice is certainly going to play quite a bit less. We got Tice in for 18. Now, is Grant Williams going to be playing a little bit more? Derek White playing 13 minutes the past two games is pretty interesting. I want to look at that from a rotational standpoint. Because these games have been competitive. Just straight backup run, left the floor. And then the previous game was straight backup run. Okay. So I guess we're going to be looking at very minimal amounts of Derek White, which surprises me, if we're being honest. Take him down to 16. That frees up 8 minutes. That takes Grant Williams up to 32. Now, I don't want to go all the way to 32, but I will go to 30. We got Tatum in for 40. We got Jaylen Brown in for 38. I'm going to leave Derek White at 18. Actually, no. I'm going to take Marcus Smart to 38. That's the move. Boom. All right. So now we've got Boston set. Rates don't change. We're not making any, Time Lord doesn't change any of that stuff for me. So we're going to go to the Brooklyn side now. Interesting little changes, though, to the Boston rotation. Now, for Brooklyn, this one's probably a lot easier. I never took a sip after my cheers. Oh, that's good. That is necessary. That's very necessary. So 40 minutes for Kyrie, 40 minutes for Durant. I'm actually going to cut this entire rotation and start it over. I mean, I have to assume that Kyrie is playing more than 40. So I'm going to pop in for 42. I think we're going to get 44 out of KD. So there's that. I think we're going to get 38 out of Bruce Brown. Drummond feels good at 18. Nick Claxton feels good at 24, maybe. Yeah, that feels all right. All right, 3 games so far. Durant 43 minutes, Irving 41 and a half. So maybe I shouldn't. I'll take Durant to 43. I don't want the gap between Durant and Irving to be as big. We did see Blake Griffin get into this most recent game. That happened late fourth quarter. No reason to suspect that wouldn't happen again. So I'm going to give him 11 minutes. Seth Curry is playing about 30 a game. So let's go ahead and get him. Well, he played 34 in the most recent one. So 24 gets him to 30. I'm going to go to 32. That leaves us 32 minutes for Patty Mills and Dragic. Dragic's minutes were down quite a bit. Patty Mills was up. Now, I don't want to overreact to that too much. They're averaging 18 minutes a game so far. So 16 apiece would give me the full 32. I'm going to lean more towards Patty Mills. So I'm going to go 18 to Patty Mills and 14 to Goran Dragic. And that is going to be our Nets rotation. And now we could look at game one. So for Boston, first one out of the gate. Not a lot here that just immediately stands out. Jason Tatum, clearly the best option of anything on Boston. That would be on DraftKings at 9,500. After that, I think you're more looking at like Jaylen Brown across both sites, Marcus Smart on FanDuel at 6K. But at this point, Boston is priced pretty efficiently. On the Brooklyn side, Durant for 10K on DraftKings is going to just look exceptional. I think that people should be going that direction. He's still really good on FanDuel, as is Kyrie on both sites, but better on DraftKings, 9,300 there. And then Bruce Brown is $1,300 cheaper on DraftKings than he is on FanDuel. Bruce Brown on DraftKings would be a priority as well. So we look at game number one. You can see where everybody lines up. We get Durant, Irving, and like basically Jaylen Brown as anything interesting on FanDuel. We get Durant, Irving, Tatum, and Bruce Brown on DraftKings. So we'll see where everybody slots in after that. We go to Toronto now. Raptors are 7-point dogs in Philly. Not ideal for them. I'm assuming this is the end of this series, but we'll see. For Toronto, we don't know the status of Fred VanVleet. He is questionable. I'm assuming he's playing. On the Philly side, Embiid is in. That's all we really need to know. And by the way, hit that like button if you haven't done it already. So as we go to Toronto, I think we get your standard 40 minutes out of Fred VanVleet. I think we get certainly going to get a little bit more playing time out of Gary Trent. Kem Birch didn't really play in the last one. We're going to take that away. Thad Young did, so I'm not going to take that away. Let's get Trent up to 36. Let's get Scotty Barnes in for, let's see. We're going to take Precious down to like 28. We're going to take Chris Boucher down to 20. Why did I give Sam Decker 28 minutes? Take Precious to 28. We're going to give Barnes 36. We've got OG in for 36. We've got Pascal Siakam in for 40. I mean, Pascal Siakam's definitely got to go up past 40. That's got to become 42 for sure. He just plays a ton. So I have 2 minutes left over. I guess technically they should probably go to Kem Birch. I guess in theory they could go to Malachi Flynn, but I'm going to give him the Kem Birch. And I need to grab... I do need to grab new rates because of Barnes. Now, these aren't going to change all that dramatically, but we still need to grab them. So let's get the Raptors rates for when everybody plays. And if VanVleet doesn't play, then we know what to do. We know what to do at that point. So, all stuff played in game. I'm going to send Kushgod away for 5 minutes because he's annoying. Goodbye. Take a break, man. Take a break. played in game. Siakam, Van Vliet, Anunoby, Trent, and Barnes. All right. Wow, that was taking a while to load. All right, we got rates. Let's pull those over. And all right, that's fine. And yeah, they don't have a giant change when Barnes is off. Everybody kind of just looks the same. It's not as if Siakam is off or Van Vliet is off, where you get these guys with big assist rate or big usage rates where you really need to redistribute. Barnes isn't really that guy. He is, however, the rookie of the year that shouldn't be the rookie of the year. Alrighty. Let's hit the usage rates. Van Vliet, 23% usage rate when everybody's available. 9% assist rate. Slightly lower rebounding rate. Gary Trent, 21.5% usage rate. Assist rate goes down quite a bit. Rebounding rate stays the same. OG Anunoby, 19% usage rate. Everything else stays... Actually, rebounding goes up. Pascal Siakam, 25.4. Take him up to 9. Precious, 17.1% usage rate. And then that's it. And then finally, Scotty Barnes, 18.7 on the usage rate. 5.277. We are done with Toronto. I don't get the sense that we're changing anything really here for Philly, other than bringing Matisse Thybulle back into the fold. I would have given it to Mobley. Yeah, I would have for sure given it to Mobley. Mark, absolutely a chance that Van Vliet doesn't play. All right, let's get everybody in here, including the returning Matisse Thybulle, fresh off of his 2-game break. Now, we got 40 in for Harden. We got 38 in for Maxey. We got 38 in for Tobias Harris. We got 38 in for Embiid. All right. So in game 1, Thybulle played... No, sorry. In games 1 and 2, he played 18 minutes and 10 minutes. So where am I going to unearth the minutes here? Let's assume Danny Green is going to play a little bit less than he has to. Take him down to 32. Shake certainly going to play a bit less than I have him in here for. So that gets me to 16 already. There aren't really any other places to take time from. In theory, I could take a little bit away from George Niang, although I don't think that's the spot where it's coming from. I'm actually going to take Danny Green down an extra minute, and that'll give me 18 for Thybulle. I think that's about all I can do. Thybulle's usage rate doesn't matter, nor does Danny Green, so I don't think I'm going to be rostering Danny Green. Yeah, Andrew, I don't generally pay attention to the lineup construction like that. It's not something I would make a decision on. All right, that's Philly. Let's look at game 2. For Toronto, Siakam is the top guy here. He's 8,700 on FanDuel, 9K on DraftKings. I think Van Vliet, if he plays, just because of the minutes, you got to pay attention to him. And then I think Scotty Barnes, honestly, if you think that he just gets back to normal run, 36 minutes of Barnes is probably your third best option. You're cycling through Anunoby, Trent, and probably Achua as well. On Philly, we know what's going to happen here. We're jamming in Joel Embiid. 10-2 on FanDuel, 10-2 on DraftKings. It's just the wrong pricing. It doesn't correlate to anything correct. we're talking about a 1.5 to 1.6 to 1.7 sometimes fantasy point per minute guy playing 38 minutes against a team that doesn't have a center that can slow him down. And he can be a power forward on FanDuel. Like Joel Embiid is unquestionably the number one play on FanDuel that we're going to look at. He's going to lap everybody else. Harden looks really good on both sites. I think Harris and Maxey have now reached salary spots where I can't go too crazy. Andrew, yes, he's got a torn ligament in his thumb. No, I'm not worried about it right now. Well, I guess like worry isn't the right word. Like, surely it's going to affect him in some way, but I'm not in any position to say how much. And honestly, it doesn't really matter to me at 10-2 on both sites. Like, he's just the best guy. Larry, no, I don't. Although it might actually be close. I can figure that out at the end or a later date. I use 1.5 standard deviations. At least that's what I think I have in. Yeah, I use 1.5 standard deviations. So that's going to be... One second. I can give you an actual answer. So technically, the ceiling that I use is 87%. So mine's a little higher. All right, just look at the way that these guys cycle in. Like, I've got Embiid 5 points ahead of Durant. If you want to think that Embiid's injury is affecting him, think about it like this. Do you think it affects him 5 fantasy points or 4 on DraftKings? At which point that would bring him neutral to Durant. You see Harden get up into that double-digit tier on DK. You see Siakam try to participate here, get in there with Durant, but not a lot of interesting stuff going on FanDuel. There's not a lot of pay down options. I think the FanDuel optimal is going to look really, really gross. Let's close it out with Utah and Dallas. This one should be pretty easy other than the new minutes for, like, Daniel House might be playing a little bit more now, or at least I think they're going to have to do something like that. So we'll see. Just to double check, is anybody out for Utah or Dallas? Still no Trent Forrest for Utah. Not that that should matter. For Dallas, Frank Ntilikina questionable. So there's also an irrelevant thing. Okay, 30. I got 32 minutes for Mike Conley, but I don't think he's going to play 32 minutes if this game's competitive. 36 for Rudy Gobert seems right. Backup center run going to Whiteside. Royce O'Neal in for 33. That seems about right, honestly. 18 for Daniel House. I just think that they're going to play House more. Boyan in for 39. I'm going to take that down to 38. We've got Donovan Mitchell in for 40. I'm going to take that down to 39. I've got Jordan Clarkson in for 24. He went crazy this last time out. I don't have a great feel for his minutes at all. In the 4 games for the playoffs, he's averaged 27, and they've been creeping up. So I need to go to at least 27 here. There we go. So that leaves me 5 minutes left over. I guess I want to bump up Mike Conley. Although, no, 32 seems about right for it just depends. I'm going to take Conley to 33. And then we'll give those final 4 minutes to Juancho. Now we'll go to Dallas. Final team, Dallas Mavericks. Saw Luka come back and it not really matter, but I got to redo this entire rotation because Luka came back on a day that I wasn't doing a show. So we got 35 minutes out of Jalen Brunson. I think that 38 is going to be a pretty realistic mark here. And then for Dinwiddie, he dropped down to 24. Now, I think that is actually more likely, but I'm going to take him to 28 because I think that they can take some minutes off of Josh Green if they need to. I don't feel comfortable going too much more than 36 for Luka. So I'm going to go to 36 for right now. Cut all these rates out. There we go. All right, Dwight Powell. We'll say 6, 12, 18. We'll say 20. We'll say 20 for Powell. Say 24 for Maxey, although they're certainly going to want more than that. They'll go small. They'll go to a DFS at the 5 potentially for 38 minutes. Reggie Bullock in for 40 straight away. Actually, in for 42 straight away. And then Josh Green for 14. Josh Green for 12. Josh Green for 12. 2 more to Maxey. Now we need to grab our Luka included rates before we finish it up. And then start running our crunches. So games in which Spencer Dinwiddie, Jalen Brunson, and Luka Doncic all played. As I drink more coffee. Slowly but surely starting to wake up, which is nice. I did not want to get out of bed this morning. I was dragging ass. Waking up in the middle of the night to clean up that mess from the pooch was not ideal. But she's a sweet girl, so I can't be too mad at her. I don't think she wants to barf. I think she'd rather sleep. Darnell, well, if KD's going to have if he doesn't have a big game, I mean, it kind of has to be tonight because they could go home if they don't. So, yeah, it kind of has to be tonight if it's going to happen. All right, Luka Doncic, 39.8% usage rate with these guys here. Slightly lower assist rate. We get Jalen Brunson in for 21.8% usage. This just really nerfs Brunson. Yeah, Mark, that's a good point because he does go down a lot. I didn't really think about it like that. And Dallas is not looking good here. At all. Well, some of Dallas is. Maxey rebounding can go up. And then finally, Dorian Finney-Smith. Dorian Finney-Smith, 12.5% usage. There we go. Well, let's close it out here, folks. Let's look at the final two teams, Utah and Dallas at 7:04. We have 93 people in here, 49 likes. For the half of you that haven't done it, please go ahead and hit that like button. It would help me out a ton. Well, from what I saw, like, it's not like he can get more injured. It's just going to hurt like a mother. So, like, nothing you could really do. Intolerance thing. All right, for Utah, I think Rudy Gobert is the best option here on the Jazz. 7,200 on FanDuel, 7,100 on DraftKings. I just think he's going to be kind of difficult to get to. Do I have Bojan Bogdanovic's usage rate in incorrectly? No, I don't. So, okay. After Rudy, it's going to be Donovan Mitchell on DraftKings or maybe Mike Conley, but not a lot of priorities from Utah, which shouldn't be a surprise. We know that this game, not ideal. The Boston-Brooklyn game, a little bit faster than these other ones. For Dallas, morning everyone hates Chris. Luka is your priority on DraftKings. He's the better option on FanDuel as well. Reggie Bullock is probably the next closest guy, but there is nothing here on Dallas. Nothing at all. So as we add game number 3, not a lot from this game is getting added into the top list here. Luka slots into the 3rd spot, more like James Harden than he is like his 10K brethren on DraftKings. He's a lot worse on FanDuel. This is just... I feel like when I'm about to run this crunch for optimals, that it's just going to come up like a shrug emoji. It looks like tonight is really, really hard. I mean, we're talking 3-game slate and not a lot of obvious anything. Optimal lineup on FanDuel is 338.8. It's by 1.5. That's how you know the gaps are so big. Luka, Mike Conley, Marcus Smart, Reggie Bullock, Scotty Barnes, OG Anunoby, Embiid, Precious Achiuwa, and Rudy Gobert. Like, I don't feel comfortable with that at all. At all. Now let's see what the power rankings look like, which I'm guessing are going to be basically random. Alrighty, we're stabilizing with Jazz at the top, it seems. Looking like a Rudy and now we're just stabilizing elsewhere. Yeah, this is a mess. These guys' names are moving all over the place. It's looking like Rudy Gobert is going to be my main guy. Oh, getting caught by the rook. By 1. Rudy Gobert beats out Scotty Barnes for the top spot. Marcus Smart 3rd. Precious Achiuwa 4th. Royce O'Neal 5th. Mike Conley, Jaylen Brown, Joel Embiid are all 38% or higher. So you can kind of see where the delineation is. These top 5 guys are in the 40s, 39, 38, 38. Then we have a giant drop down to Reggie Bullock at 32. So that is your line of delineation. Gobert, Barnes, Smart, Achiuwa, O'Neal, Conley, Brown, Embiid is the core. That's where it's at. But 7,200 for Rudy Gobert, like, that is not a crazy price tag at all. He shot 18 free throws the last game. Here's what's really crazy. Rudy Gobert in 32 minutes, 0 blocks. In game 3, 29 minutes, 1 block. Rudy Gobert has not had his block party yet. Be ready for that on FanDuel. Look, he's Rudy Gobert. That's going to come eventually. Like, even, let's just look at Dallas games. You know, because he's played Dallas a couple times this year. 1 block, 2 blocks, 3, 3, 3, 2 plus 2 steals. He had a 3-3 game in January of last year. That's a terrible example, but keep an eye out for some Rudy Gobert blocks, is all I'm trying to say. Let's go to DK. I like the Rudy Gobert play if you want to try to go to like Luka Doncic instead, or even like a KD instead of paying up with the Embiid piece. But I think everything works. Like, you can make a narrative for whatever you want today. All right. DraftKings optimal. 284.6. This is by 0.8 fantasy points. Conley, Bullock, Grant Williams, Scotty Barnes, Precious, Luka Doncic, Dorian Finney-Smith, Joel Embiid. So the double 10K pay up of Luka and Embiid, and you're just crossing your fingers and hoping you get the value right. So that's interesting. Turn the randomness on. We'll take a look at power rankings. And guys, you can see it in the chat right now, but I do want to promote it. If you see the Stream Elements bot, we have F1 projections for DraftKings for $1 if you're interested. This is going to be a new DFS sport for those of you that haven't been following it. But if you've watched the show on Netflix, or if you're interested in getting into something else, DFS projections for F1 are $1 using the promo code ZOOM. All right, Reggie Bullock is the #1 contender on DraftKings. By the way, to whatever dope We're pulling it up now. We're taking a brief break from what we just looked at we're taking a brief break from that DraftKings thing just to point something out, because I got ripped yesterday for liking Herb Jones as a top contender. And as it turns out, Herb Jones went for 30 yesterday at 4,600. A very nice outcome. But what I want to do, just quickly, is run 50 lineups on actuals. I want to see if Herb Jones actually comes up. Yeah, I meant FS1. Okay. Herb Jones, not essential, but a good game nonetheless. I feel like Reggie Bullock is in the Herb Jones territory for today. You know, he's 4,800 on DK. 4 straight games of this series. 29, 25, 27, 25. It's right there. He's playing massive minutes. It doesn't take much for this to break correctly for Reggie Bullock. And he's shooting guard small forward, so he fits everywhere. So I'm not upset about it. Reggie Bullock, Mike Conley, man, and I could have gave Mike Conley more minutes. That's what's crazy. Maybe I need to give him one less. Although he has been alternating. 34 minutes, 22 minutes. 35 minutes, 24 minutes. Maybe he'll play big 30s today. Bullock, Conley, Achua, Embiid, Bruce Brown. That's everybody north of 30. Everybody above 25 is Rudy Gobert, Scotty Barnes, Seth Curry, Dorian Finney-Smith, Royce O'Neal, Luka Doncic, and James Harden. Folks, we may be done. In fact, we are done. I got nothing else to look at here. Another slate in the books. Make sure you're watching Contenders videos. Make sure you're watching the strategy shows. It's myself and Laffy, I believe, tonight for Live Before Lock. You're not going to want to miss that one. I think that's everything, guys. Do you have any other questions before we get out of here? This is going to be a really difficult slate, so be prepared. Be prepared. I think we're good, though. I think we're good. That'll do it, folks. Thank you very much for being here. Hit the like button on your way out the door. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. I appreciate y'all being here. We are back again tomorrow. This was The Process.